It's happened again. China's Inner Mongolia to end cryptocurrency mining and ban new steel and coke projects. China's Inner Mongolia was over the queue from their central command, and they used too much energy, and it's time to roll it back. They're looking to roll it back in the place that uses lots of energy: Bitcoin mining. The region was the only one of 30 mainland areas under Beijing's energy and consumption and energy intensity review that failed to meet the target. And now Mongolia is rolling back Bitcoin mining. Martine Wismar, your thoughts on the end of mining in China again?
Yeah, I so missed China FUD. There was like no China FUD for the past years or so. Before that, we always had China FUD. The Chinese will ban it, and then the price dropped, and then we all had a buying moment, and then the price went up again because the Chinese didn't ban it. But I think they want to clean it up, and to be honest, I think it's like roughly 10% in that region is of all the Bitcoin hash rate is located there. So if they stop, there will be a good chance for others elsewhere. And from what I understood, already like half a year ago, many Chinese miners were looking outside of China to start up operations. So like some of them have moved to Russia, and like cold places like Siberia and stuff, just to have like cooling requirements. And I don't see this as a problem. China will realize that they'll lose an industry. I don't think they care that much because they already have the industry. They make all the mining equipment. All the Bitcoin miners are from there. So I don't know. It didn't even put a dent in the price. I think the price even went up, didn't it? Like the price went up.
The price of Bitcoin didn't even notice. It
No,
wasn't even concerned about China banning mining again.
no. See, so the China FUD doesn't have the effect anymore as it had in the past. So I feel sorry for the people that run a business in Mongolia, that all of a sudden some government decision forces them out. It's just downright ridiculous, especially if you depend on your livelihood to mine Bitcoin, and then you made this considerable investment, and then without real warning, it's some politician in the party, the only party you can vote on. I don't know. Don't get me started on that. I like my AliExpress stuff, but I don't like the way they do politics there.
Josh Shigala, your thoughts on China and mining?
The thing was that when China banned cryptocurrency exchanges but kept mining legal, I remember thinking, well, how are the miners exchanging for currency that they can pay for electricity? And the fact of the matter is, the only person buying it, probably group, was probably the state was buying the Bitcoin. But I don't know on what level. This is all conjecture. But I think it's a good thing because it really shows that Bitcoin don't care. Hash rate will drop for a little bit, minutely, and it'll pop up somewhere else as somebody sees the opportunity to jump in and get those Bitcoin that are released every 10 minutes. So it's really not a problem. I mean, this is the beauty of Bitcoin. This is the whole point of decentralization. It gets banned in one little place, pops up somewhere else. This is the point. This is the point. If you didn't get this, then you're missing the point. Great, ban it. Have fun.
Ben Ark.
This does relate quite well to the conversation we had last week about how, mining operations, these big operations, you can lean on to try and encourage them to use renewables as opposed to having a large carbon footprint for transactions. And this is what China just want to do. They have subsidized electricity, which is quite dirty electricity using coal power plants. They don't have like an overall grid for China, so they have like small local electricity production for maybe a few towns or cities. So they have to be careful that they, this is why the miners moved in there, is because they could have cheap electricity, which was subsidized, I think, for the the off-peak stuff. But I mean, China's state capitalist, so if they don't want you to do something, they control the capital and they'll just tell you not to do it anymore. So you don't have the freedom to operate in an industry which doesn't benefit them for whatever reason. And I think they did do a study on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and even with the mining rigs and the miners, it's made up such a tiny part of their GDP that they don't care about it. So whatever, if they need to reduce their carbon footprint, then Bitcoin's going to be the thing to go. And yeah, it encourages people just to find better places to mine Bitcoin where they can use renewables. It was kind of a false economy anyway, because the energy was so insanely cheap because it was basically provided for free by the Chinese government because they weren't using it and it was available. But obviously that can't go on forever, and if it's taking energy from other parts of the country where they need it, then they're gonna close down the mining rig.
Exit question: how will China banning mining affect the Bitcoin mining is centralized in China FUD? We have that FUD all the time, and I would hate for this to affect that FUD. Martin.
I think people will still say that it's concentrated in China, even if it's not. That Chinese miners will set up business elsewhere. We already saw that happening half a year ago. So I think they might have gotten a heads up in advance. But people will always say that it's China, but they'll let them. For Bitcoin, the price, it doesn't matter.
Josh Shigala.
Yeah, the thing is, the Chinese people are very resourceful, wonderfully resourceful people. And basically what will happen is they'll just move the whole mining rigs to the next town. And in fact, the electricity providers will beg them to come back, because all of a sudden they'll have like all this surplus of energy, and they will just be like, oh, we need to up selling this so that we can continue asking for more money from the CCP to expand operations. It's kind of like if you work for a big company and you're a department, you want to try and spend the whole budget by the end of the financial year. Otherwise, you get less budget next year. So you end up wasting all this money in your department, or buying stuff that you don't really need, because next year you'll lose some of the budget if you didn't spend it. So I think this will be the same thing. These people will move, and then the energy providers will desperately want them to come back because they want to have that income.
Ben, ARK.
I think that was true with the USSR commies, but I don't think it's true with the Chinese commies. They have a market, but it's the state can just controls the market, in that he can just pull the rug out from under you if he doesn't agree with what you're doing for whatever reason. But they won't be begging for the miners to come back. What might happen is these Chinese miners might try and find renewable sources, and then argue, say, well, maybe not argue, but ask nicely that if they could continue their mining operations if they use renewables, that'd be cool.
Seems unlikely. The government of China has decided Bitcoin mining is the easiest thing that you can keep track of, so it must be banned first. Wait till they learn how much power those unused PlayStations are using. Oh no.